Chirr and the Counterfeit Cracker, a Duckiverse parable. One morning in Resonance City, Chirr found the most beautiful cracker he had ever seen. It sat on a stump in the town square, glowing faintly in the sunrise like it had been blessed by angels, or lightly sprayed with cooking oil. It was round, golden, perfectly salted, not a crack in it, not a crumb out of place. Chirr landed in front of it and froze. He tilted his head to the left, then right, then left again. "Luxury," he whispered. He snatched it immediately. Now, in the Duckiverse, Chirr steals many things. Buttons, crayons, soup crackers, emotional stability. But this was different. This cracker looked like destiny. He carried it to his usual lookout branch and prepared himself for the first bite. Crunch. He stopped. Something was wrong. It made the right sound. It even smelled almost right. But the taste was nothing. Dry, hollow, chalky. Like someone had served a cracker out of old church walls and painted it with butter. Chirr blinked. He took another bite. Still nothing. No joy, no salt, no spark, no little snack shiver of divine approval. Just dust. He spat it into the wind and began screaming. "The snack is lying! Fraud cracker! False biscuit! Counterfeit grain!" Naturally, no one listened at first. Bossy adjusted his glasses and said Chirr was probably just being dramatic again. Stux asked if he could have it. Porco took one look at the cracker and said, "I don't trust any food that looks emotionally unavailable." But Chirr would not let it go. All day he flew through town with the terrible thing in his pouch, yanking it out every few minutes to show whoever was nearby. "See? Perfect shape. Dead inside. This is how they get you. This is not a cracker. It is a performance." By noon, everyone was annoyed. By evening, everyone was unsettled. Because once Chirr had said it, they started noticing. The pretty shop in town with all the polished signs and gentle music sold bread that never went stale because it never had really been alive to begin with. The smiling council duck gave speeches full of warmth and unity, but left everyone feeling smaller when he was done. A self-help pamphlet Tina found in the town square promised peace in 7 steps and somehow made her nervous system worse by page 3. Even the town chapel, lovely little place with stained glass windows and a bell that sounded like memory, had started to feel thinner inside. Not false exactly, just rehearsed. Like the words still stood upright, but the fire had moved out years ago and no one wanted to admit it. And Chirr, tiny, loud, and absolutely covered in crumbs, kept squawking the same truth. "If it looks full but feeds nothing, throw it at the moon." That night, Bossy sat on his porch, turning the counterfeit cracker over in his wing. Perfect edges, perfect color, no life in it. And because the pattern likes to move through ridiculous things when people are finally tired enough to listen, a realization slipped into town all at once. A thing can look finished, but still be empty. A thing can sound holy and still carry no song. A thing can wear the shape of nourishment and still leave the soul hungry. That was the real trouble with the cracker. It wasn't bad because it was ugly. It was bad because it was convincing. It imitated what fed. The next morning, the town changed a few things. Not dramatically. The pattern almost never starts there. Bossy threw out the 3 speeches he'd written and spoke plain instead. Tina stopped forcing herself to attend gatherings that made her spirit wilt, even if they sounded meaningful on paper. Porco burned a brochure called "Brand Yourself into Alignment" and called it a cleansing. Stux cried in front of a waffle and admitted he had been trying to eat admiration instead of love. And Chirr? Chirr took the counterfeit cracker to the edge of town, dug a tiny hole with unnecessary suspicion, and buried it under a crooked sign that read, "No roots, no salt, no truth." Then he dusted off his wings, looked at the sunrise and muttered, "Useless." A beat passed, then softer. "Important." And off he flew, pouch slapping at his side, ready to steal something honest. Because once you've tasted the false thing and lived, you get a little better at finding what's real. And sometimes that's how the pattern works. Not through thunder, not through doctrine, not through a perfect sermon in a shining hall. Sometimes it sends a flaming parrot to expose a fake cracker in public. And if you're lucky, you listen before you build your whole life around eating dust.
If this video resonated, please like, share, and follow.